How we scaled Hamza from 30k per month to 200k per month and won Skool Games as a result of it. So what he was doing before, he had too many products at low prices. He had like a bodybuilding course, he had some like nutrition course, he had like alpha male course and a bunch of others with low converting sales pages. So not only many of them, but the sales pages were pretty generic and the copywriting and like the design of it wasn't the best to be found. And no CTAs or even emails, 200,000 contacts. The emails were not segmented or detailed, like the emails were kind of just like stories, or if there were any. And also he was sending it like once or twice per week. So we ramped it up to multiple times a week and adding CTAs to really monetize the audience. That was the whole point. So, and also the offers were not really aligned with the age of the creator and the mindset of the person that like, with the age of the audience. The offers were not aligned with the age of the audience and the mindset and the understanding of that avatar. Hamza was really great at creating things for them on content side, but then he did many things and they weren't as good. So, and some courses were frankly not really appropriate for those type of people that we was trying to attract. So we changed that. We bundled it into one thing, one product, which enabled us to scale it and push all of the people into one place. So the funnel itself, we started funneling everybody to the same place, and it was a Skool community with an offer that we determined was like a tangible offer. What I mean by that is this offer we could determine 0 or 1 is the result achieved or not. For example, an offer that is not tangible is I'll help you lose weight. The offer that is tangible is I help you lose 30 pounds in 6 weeks. What I mean by that is you can determine 0 or 1 was achieved or not. There's no in between, right? Like somebody had lost 17.5 pounds, that was not achieved. And that's like pretty self-explanatory. So that's a 0. But somebody achieved 30 pounds, lost 30 pounds, that they did achieve it. So we made an offer like that. It was like get a certain outcome, a certain time frame. So we just sold one thing at the time, not many, and because we applied to get 200k per month. We exceeded the goal, which was awesome. Because we had a lot of like courses and we had a model material we could gatekeep, we could provide a big promise. And the pricing that we chose at the start was $500 upfront and $99 per month, because we wanted to attract people that had this higher intent, they had a little bit of bigger budget, and we didn't want to have a massive churn with that. So that pricing worked really well. This is the famous big head, long tail from Hormozi. So the results of that, we had a 200k launch, to be exact, it was like 220, as I remember correctly. And Hamza, after doing it for about 10 months, in his own words, didn't need more money. And he, after that, started exploring the world, doing many things. And after that, it dropped to 120k. And also, we were able to win the first Skool Games with an amazing score. It was #1 school in the world at that time. And it was awesome. So, improvement. The more we were engaged in the community, we were decreasing the churn, which we had a natural 20% churn because of the nature of the audience. You can read more about like churn per industry in like Stripe analysis, but basically 20% is considered average. At some point we had 40% churn, which was brutal, but a combination of monthly challenges, reaching out to people to schedule calls with them and help them, and increasing the number of group calls and responding to people really helped. Basically, the more we were engaged and the more we were like trying to get people in the community, it helped. But it was very much an uphill battle. And Hamza has a massive advantage over all this because he created a cult-like following. Those people were absolutely obsessed with him because he changed their life. But I think right now his brand and his the type of content he's creating doesn't have it as much as he used to. I could be wrong, I don't know his numbers, but back then it was really explosive, and it was only possible because he used a lot of those tricks and from how to build a cult-like audience, specifically using that language. That was his language, not mine. That really worked. I remember one time we posted at like 9 p.m. that he's going to show up somewhere, and we had like 50 people next morning show up in that place, and like just randomly. So it was really the most powerful thing I've seen in terms of building community. And it's really hard to do if you don't have a place to host your community, to connect with your audience. You can achieve that either on Skool or on YouTube. Hamza started on YouTube and then over time moved to Skool, but I think he didn't like put as much effort, at least at the start, into making the Skool community awesome and more engaged. And calls with the CSMs, customer success managers, and organizing the communities were fun and it really worked, dividing people into challenges, into groups, competing against each other, doing meetups. A lot of those things really improved sharing the wins. So monetizing, it wasn't hard or long, and calls with it, and we started doing DM sales, for our higher ticket service and selling to we started selling a few people per day. It was really fun, but Hamza decided to stop it because we were to some degree like really monetizing the audience fast. So we stopped doing it. There was a direct correlation between how much Hamza was posting and the results of the community. Especially this type of a market of like young entrepreneurs, they really wanted that engagement from the creator, and it really helped. How we did it is we hired a team. We hired a few CSMs. I was like, not Hamza, but the team. I managed the team a little bit, and then I onboarded head of operations. Consulted him weekly for 6 months. So for 6 months, I had a weekly call with the head of operations at the start. I was organizing like most of things in terms of copy, emails, what to do, projects, improvement to products, things like that. And then we launched the CSM system and community management. And after that, I moved to other projects at Skool. That was it. And launches worked so well. Like we did it 3 times, and each time we did 50 to 100K in revenue, on top of 130 to 200K in monthly recurring revenue. So daily posts in the community, ramping things up, creating like a mission that our community could be structured around, we could be really excited for, helped tremendously. What didn't work? We tried raising the price, but literally nobody was qualified from thousands of people that we talked to. It was really interesting. The messaging of the person that you're working with really matters. So that was interesting. Usually raising the price helps. What did I learn from Hamza? Next time, I would also do weekly webinars in the group to sell high tickets. I think that was something that we massively underestimated. Hundreds and hundreds of people would show up to those, and they did show up to group coaching calls with Hamza, so why not? And we had other creators that we worked with right now that did that model and that did even better. And another monetized audience is one of the easiest ways to make money you will ever make. Like, create content. There's almost no excuse. Even Elon is creating content, so you can find time for it. As creators, to have a big list of ideas instead of shipping things without talking to a team. This could have been an 8-figure business if Hamza wanted to keep going at it. I think a lot of the times there was many ideas, there were changes. There was like, we let go of some people, even though I was like why? Of course, I'm not like the biggest guru and I didn't have as much experience as I have now, but a lot of ideas were just getting shipped almost immediately. Which to some degree, I believe it slowed down the business massively. Like we pretty much did launches and we were selling this audience, but very few projects were actually getting it down well, other than on the content side. And I think like creating a team and creating a structure, not focusing on profit, but just, doing well profit-wise, but focusing on like creating a scalable business, maybe many faces, many like scaling content on many platforms, and like getting that going would be beneficial. But I personally didn't like the amount of things that we were shipping at the same time, and a lot of the times kind of had like conflicting priorities. So that was pretty interesting. And we had a bunch of like group leaders that was like who Hamza liked at the start, but with time they started their own communities because we were teaching how to make money, right? So Hamza and the team kicked them out. To some degree, it decreased the activity in the group because those people were very engaged and they were helping others and they were inspiration to others. And next time we could make them into community leaders inside there and give them status and compensate them for that, maybe hire them, or at least have them sign some agreements that like, hey, you cannot sell under any circumstance. If you do, you will be like, there will be some consequences, but we got rid of those people and the activity in the community dropped, and quite a lot of people went to those little people that were more focused on solving some little problem, right? So longevity matters more than making money right now. Hamza was making so much money, but even now, I believe we make more because we never stop, right? I feel like he makes more. He makes good money. Like I think he makes like 100, maybe 130K per month, maybe more. I could be wrong, but like he makes nowhere near as we do right now because we just stayed in the market, kept doing the same thing, kept refining, and kept shipping the projects at a good rate. So take breaks, don't stop. Like and don't forget what made you rich in the first place, what made you successful. That risk taking, that creating content that was valuable, and also if you need to scale, you need to change up some things. You need to keep innovating. You cannot stay at like creating the same type of videos as you were a few years ago because market changes. So Hamza didn't want to keep running the community, so the things like kind of fizzled out with time. I think he picked it up now, which is awesome. But at the time, I was like, it was kind of painful to see because he had this like really good like business model and things like that. And videos just stopped coming for like 6 months or something like that. And at some point, he was more than 10% of traffic on Skool. I believe this data. I could be wrong, right? But I remember that was quite a lot. Like he had more people were searching Adonis Skool than Skool. It's interesting. So we have met in Skool community, and I was running an event called Creator Monetize, and here's a picture of me with Hamza at Skool Games. And I wish Hamza all the best. I think he stands for an amazing mission, and he helped a lot of people change their life very positively. So I think what we did was really incredible, and I wish he keeps going and changes even more lives.